Hello, you're welcome to ABC News Highlights. My name is Golda Badai.
And my name is Nana Kwame Gobe, and we're going to dive into our first story, one of many as we let you in on the latest happenings in the country. So our first story is quite interesting. I will use tertiary students as ministers. 2024 presidential candidate hopeful, Mr. Kofi Cranton, who is an independent candidate, if I should put it out there. So he said that you use all tertiary students, not all, but most of tertiary students to fill all ministerial positions. Because according to him, what old ministers or old men can do, tertiary students can do. And I'm going to quote what he said to buttress this point. He said, let's take the brain of a minister and put it right here, and take the brain of a graduate and put it right here. Now, the brain of the minister has to have competent, functional, specific training relevant to development. So if you take the brain of one minister and you process it the same way you do that of a graduate, the end product will still be the same. You would have somebody that is competent. And he also went on to allude to the fact that if old people with their brains have taken at the IMF 16 times, he believes that graduates, people that are just fresh out of university, should also take up the mantle, because we can't expect these old people to lead us to the promised land as a nation.
Okay, so his whole point is that the old people are not doing as well. So we need fresher young brains.
Fresher young brains, but particularly tertiary students, or I think what he meant to say was graduates, recent graduates of tertiary institutions.
Okay, so when he says fresh graduate, so the moment you graduate, you get a ministerial position.
Yes.
Do you not need a certain level of experience to, become a minister?
Exactly. And I feel like I may understand, as you said, the fact that we need fresh minds, we need younger minds.
So let's not just go like that.
Let's not just go like that. It is quite shocking. For all you know, because he wants people to vote for him. There's a huge unemployment situation in this country where fresh out of university graduates do not have jobs.
Yeah, Nana, but if you say you're going to hire me fresh out of school to become a minister, I mean, think about it. Let's be honest about our educational system in this country. It is more theory based than it is practical. So if, say, I need maybe about a year or two or maybe more, that level of experience before I can, get into ministry, well, then what do you mean by you're going to hire me immediately after school?
To a desperate job-seeking graduate.
That sounds great.
That sounds great. All I see is an opportunity. I'll learn on the job.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So on to our next story for the day. So no quality. Free SHS has been a huge failure. Peace FM's Kwabna Mafo. Now, popular radio presenter and media personality Kwabna Mafo of Peace FM has criticized the government's flagship program, Free Senior High School, over what he perceives as a decline in the quality of the education. Now, Mafo contends that the free SHS is prioritizing quantity over quality, leading to a compromise of academic standards as well as poor meals served in the school. So he was speaking in an interactive session on NEET FM's morning show on November 28, 2023, and there he alleged that the meals served to students are of very poor quality and fail to meet basic hygienic standards. He went so far as saying that the food that the free SHS children are eating is just terrible. It has nothing to do with MPP or NDC. The kind of food that the children are eating in secondary schools is very bad. Even prisons do not eat that kind of food. So he's basically saying that, apparently there was an MP who alluded that some of the food were maggots near the. And so he's basically saying that we're looking at quantity over quality. And I cannot disagree.
Same. I agree.
I cannot disagree, Nana. This morning in public transport, I had a conversation that was shocking. Somebody's child had 60. Somebody had 40. Now, obviously, we do not know the circumstances for which that child
went. Is it like a JHS?
Yeah, JHS.
60.
Yes, and 40, Nana. And obviously, we don't know, the child's circumstances for which they got, they go to school and even how they got that 60. But, I think, yes, they are prioritizing quantity over quality. I think the whole idea is, okay, we're going to get the most amount of people we can to go to school without thinking about the fact that if they go to school and come back and then become unemployed, cannot get an education, become a liability to the state, then what was the point of the quantity over the quality?
I agree. I agree. It's almost as if the policies viability ends at getting them to school, but when they're
That's
there,
it. Yeah.
that's it.
Because I mean, when you go on to read the story, and it says, the food, the soup that they even add to the food is
No, let's not. Even during our time when we paid fees, we were complaining about the
the
school.
kind of exactly. So imagine now that it is free.
See, I think every senior high school in this country had their own version of gas. Mine was called gas in my school. Soup like, stew like substance. You don't know if it's soup, you don't know if it's
Yeah, I
stew.
think importers they call something gas. So I would have to
Exactly. You
ask.
see, that
There are so
mine
many
is
kinds.
gas, yours is gas. So like, by every school runs through the category A down to category D. Everybody had their own version of gas, and we all complained like, "Oh, it's bad." But imagine now that parents are not paying.
Yes, and there was some, with your mention of parents, they were saying that some parents want to give their children food, and they say you can't do that. What do you mean by I cannot do that? Anna, you said free education. We said okay. That's also another conversation for another day where you have to. I think you have to give that opportunity to parents who cannot afford it.
Yes.
Let parents who decide that they can pay for their children send them to schools they want to send them to.
Yeah, because one of the top schools in Central Region One recently they were asking for the parents to chip in because government has not paid
Exactly. So what was the whole
arrears of bills and stuff that they need. They've not been paid to get it. So it's really really sad.
I think the policy needs a review.
It does need a review, but I'm sure we would see it as one of the achievements of the current government.
Well, do let us know what you think in the comments. Do you think free SHS is serving its purpose? Do you think there are advantages and disadvantages? Let us know what you think.
Yes, and I think also beyond, we all know it's a good policy, but let's also talk about implementation. What are your thoughts? Let us know. As Abba just said, we are moving on to our next story. So social media is reacting and not very positively to alleged bleaching by songstress Rebecca Champon, popularly known as Becca. So if you know Becca of African woman fame, yeah, beautiful, dark skin, amazing woman. Well, pictures and videos that have made their way on social media all through her personal Snapchat account seems to present her, or we see her in a very light complexion. Initially, I personally thought maybe Snapchat filters, but then we've seen many videos and pictures where she just seems very, very light. Well, social media users are talking about it, and some are, maybe it's a conspiracy theory, but some people are blaming her current husband, who is Nigerian, and saying that he seems to have taste for light-skinned women, and due to that pressure of seeming desirable to her husband, she's also gone to bleach her skin or gone to lighten up her complexion. We don't know how true that is, but Abba, you've seen the pictures and videos.
I have. And when I saw it initially, I thought, okay, like you said, filter, camera, that. But when you look at it, you realize, okay, this is definitely not camera. It looks like she's been doing it over time. And Nana, there are certain light skins that come with you have money, you're comfortable. Some people
So your
are
natural
not
complexion
exactly
just
yes.
shows itself.
Yes,
Two
there's
point
that.
kaka.
Yes. I know. And then there's the one that you realize that this person is truly has that yes na onyesika ebeman tuntum na so but not that kind of. So like what is the pressure? What is the problem? She's a stunning woman.
She's beautiful woman.
So I mean, is it truly pressure from a partner? Like what's the problem? I think it has to start from in here. You have to be comfortable in your own skin, be proud of who you are, because if not, I mean, we're black, we hear it all the time, we are the least attractive race, you hear it all over the world. So if you're not confident, the pressure can get to you.
Yes.
But I do hope that I miss all that she's okay, because I mean, I believe such a thing comes from a certain place.
I agree. And yes, we hope she's doing well. I don't think she will come back to speak on it publicly because this thing has run for years. Becca's skin bleaching allegations have run for years. I don't think she will come up and speak on it. But yes, as Abba said, we hope she's doing great. We hope she's doing fine. And if you are dark skin, you have to find yourself in the categories that I've stated. Are you the one that with small money, change of weather, AC, see your natural complexion shine through? Are you the one that will have just beautiful skin, With money or with comfort comes healthy skin. But please, check yourself, love yourself. It starts from here. If you love yourself and you're comfortable in your own skin, you wouldn't have to reverse it. You can self frame.
Now, on to our last story for the day. So, MP for Ningo Pampa, Sam George, is here again. You know, he's the championer of, the anti-LGBTQI bill. And a couple of days ago, maybe a week ago, I'm not too sure, Cardinal Texan, made a statement where he said that he doesn't believe that homosexuals should be, become criminals. The anti-LGBTQI bill can pass, but then, don't criminalize their personal life. Well, Sam George has a reply for him. He says that the Cardinal's comments are unfortunate. So the Member of Parliament for Ningu Prampram, Sam Nathy George, has described as unfortunate the comments by Cardinal Peter Appiah Texan on the LGBT plus QI. My apologies, I'm confused. Okay, so Cardinal Peter Appiah Texan has called on Ghana's Parliament not to criminalize homosexuality and LGBTQI in the country. Speaking in an interview on BBC's Hard Talk, he further stated that the Ghanaian people should be helped to understand the issue better. So I'm quoting, "My position has simply been this. The LGBTQI gay people may not be criminalized because they've committed no crime, but neither should this position also become something to be imposed on cultures which are not yet ready to accept things like that." Now, speaking on Morning Star FM with Francis Aban, the MP had a reply for, Father Texas. Now, he questioned why the Catholic Church has failed to criticize the United States, among other countries who have criminalized polygamy. And I'm quoting, "I think the comments by Cardinal Texan are most unfortunate and most regressive. Why have they not criticized the United States, Canada, and many European countries who have criminalized and sent people to jail for polygamy? This selective biblical benevolence is really boring. I hear the current president of the Catholic Bishop Conference said they also shared that opinion. Again, I will want to find out what goes on in the Catholic Church. With the greatest of respect, the predecessor of the Catholic Bishop Conference, the Archbishop of Tamale, Bishop Name, was one of the people who worked with me and my colleagues to the president to present this bill to the Speaker of Parliament. My apologies," he said. So, he wants to know what goes on in the Catholic Church. He wants to know what the thought processes were to come to the conclusion that,
First of all, the Ghana Catholic Church's stance on the LGBTQI plus situation is not in a vacuum. So the Pope, the Vatican has also started to loosen up on where they stand when it comes to this issue. So I don't find it very surprising that they're towing the line. But then again, my problem, right, with my personal problem with Sam George is there are two ends to an extreme. Yes, we are not ready for anything to be pushed down on us, one. And so in order to sort of like combat that, we are criminalizing Ghanaian citizens that do not fall in your lines of morality and tradition. Two ends to an extreme. I think what the Cardinal is saying is, I'm not saying this is right. I'm just saying that as citizens, just like everybody else, we shouldn't have to criminalize them. They've not hurt anybody. And this comparison with polygamy is the reason why polygamy is unlawful in the US or in Canada and any other areas. It's similar to why Christian marriages can get a second partner if it's registered at a law court. So, for example, if Goda and I get married and we want to move on and go on our separate ways, we'd have to divorce legally before any one of us can move on to get married again. It's to protect the interest of the other person, right? So that in any case of dissolvement, properties will go to who it's supposed to go to. So the reason for criminalization, there are two different things. One seems to be rooted in protecting rights of citizens, where the other seems to be rooted in not acknowledging the rights of another citizen. But then again, as I said yesterday, it is a very sensitive issue. So let us know what you think in the comment section.
And I've forgotten his constituency, but
Nigo Pampa.
No, what's his name? Is it Mr. Afenyomakin? Apparently,
Yes.
he also says that he doesn't support the criminalization of it. I want to see them both sitting and having a conversation about their stances and their reason. Okay, obviously, Sam George has said it many times, but I would like to hear why Afenyomakin believes that.
And I think when people hear, "Oh, I do not support the criminalization
You
of
automatically
LGBT,"
assume, okay,
they support it, which is not
So
the same thing.
He could give us,
Yes, it is. I
explanation.
do not support this act, but I do not think it should be criminalized because the people that are doing it, regardless of your moral stance, are Ghanaians whose rights need to be protected as well.
Yes. So this is quite a debate, for or against. Let us know your thoughts on the topics for today. My name is Golda Abadai.
And my name is Nana Kwame Gobe. Thank you so much for sticking with us. Do go to www.abcnewsgh.com for your latest news and also follow us on our social media platforms. It's abcnewsgh_.